There is only one Canfield, Ohio, and this track has a sordid history with these big trucks. But no event compares to the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags. Surreal, nightmarish track designs come to life in the Buckeye clay and challenge even the best pilots of the jumping juggernauts. Welcome to the legendary Canfield Fairgrounds in Canfield, Ohio for the third annual season finale of the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags here for 2023, and this is the championship finale for the first time ever. These guys are wrapping up a season-long points battle that started in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, went to Indianapolis, Indiana as part of the four-wheel Jamboree series, and how fitting that this venue become part of what was originally the Penda Point series. Great to see Canfield as the closing stop. The third annual Outlaw Monster Truck Drags, as I said, and as part of this event, as always, the Rooster Rally Car Show, all the great chrome, the candy apple. There's a bit of everything, muscle cars, big horsepower, hot rods, rat rods, even a few pulling vehicles show up. And what car show would be complete without the burnout pad? Of course, if you're looking for something a little bit more chaotic, you can point your attention across the back of the main grandstands over to the other side of the midway where the Monster Trucks Thunder Alley took place earlier today. The drivers signing autographs, handing out some awesome merchandise. If you haven't been to one of the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags events, you gotta get out and see it live when it comes to a town near you. And this is a very important event for a multitude of reasons. Not only will this close up the point series, not only will it be the last time that this group of trucks is together in 2023, but a big announcement will be made at the conclusion of today's event. Right now, though, coming into this week's action, we have some big stories. It's a minor miracle, maybe a major miracle, that the Stomper machine even made this show. In fact, this truck was up and running by the end of the weekend again in Indianapolis, and we'll explain why in just a moment. In fact, we're just going to show you why. Here is what happened 1 week ago in qualification round action in Indianapolis, Indiana. Dalton Van Skyot going for a wild, very scary ride there on the tarmac on the infield of the Indiana State Fairgrounds. That track has certainly seen its fair share of chaos and wild rides over the years. Of course, the racing victory 1 week ago went to Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit. He has a shot at the championship, the overall championship, at the end of what has been a grueling season. It may be only 3 stops, but it's a lot of competition to get through, and we'll tell you about it. We're going to start things off with qualifying round highlights, and it's been wild already. And first up on the track, none other than the man himself, Joe Sylvester. Bad Habit, the big Jeep Gladiator, would never put anybody else on a track he wouldn't run himself. So props to him. He goes side by side with Rodney Tweedy in USA 1 out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. Wild ride through the second no man's land. You can see that little roller that he just took the top off of. Both of those guys getting through the course, some smoke out from under USA 1, but Bad Habit would lay down the early fast time of an 11:28 to USA 1's 13 and change. Monster Patrol and Toxic, two black and green destruction machines, and Buddy Tompkins left. Preston Perez in the dust. Surprisingly, Perez trying to negotiate that difficult section there with the K-rail on top of that step up. Really a step on and step off. You kind of double into that tabletop and have to launch off of it. Tompkins would take over the lead at a 10:32. Preston would drop into 4th place. Then it would be Barefoot and American Scout going side by side in what turned out to be the closest pairing of the qualifying round. Still, though, punishing on equipment. You can see Colton Kaiser getting out of shape here in the near lane. Logan Tweedy almost able to counter him, but American Scout able to stay out front at a 12:47 to put him in to third place. Fourth would end up going to the Jonesboro, Illinois driver in barefoot. Now the wildest ride of the qualifying round. Keep your eye on Rampage because it's the last time you're going to see it this weekend. Front shocks clean out from under it, and Dalton Van Skyok has his hands full in the near lane, still able to lay on a legal run. Runs a 15.03 to put him in the number 7 spot and at the bottom of the pack. And as I mentioned, we already know that Tommy Verlone in Rampage out of Milan, Michigan is out of competition. That truck has been damaged too badly to come back. He tore the shocks clean apart, and they're going to work on the track. Right now, trying to make the jumps maybe a little nicer off the starting line. Give these guys a shot to get over them a little bit quicker. We'll see if it does anything to better the kind of runs that we get coming into round one. Another look at this from the drone cam, that CJFPV view giving us all the great shots. Right there, he landed all the way to the left of that jump on the right sidewalls of the front tire, and it just pulled those shocks apart. Let's take a look at it in slow motion. He came all the way over to the center of the track. You can see the K-rail kicked him hard to the left, but he landed on the right under throttle. Did a ton of damage, and then look at Dalton Van Skyok going for a ride. The typical stomper wheel stands that we're used to seeing, not wanting those in that competition or in qualifying at least, but he did want them here. However, the truck would not cooperate with him. This is best trick action from a little bit earlier today. He would have to set the pace, just couldn't get the thing to ride out on the rear tires. A score of 16. Buddy Tompkins, Monster Patrol, next down to the gate. Buddy is very familiar with this chassis, even though it's got this Monster Patrol livery on it now. It has run a slew of different names over the years, and Buddy has been at the wheel of this machine before. He knows what it's capable of. Cyclone time on the infield by the Armstrong Drive and Kuffleitner banners. Tompkins would take over the lead with a 35, being followed up by Rodney Tweedy in USA 1. Tweedy trying to make sure he can stay in the event. You saw him take kind of a ride in qualifying, and the truck did not quite look at 100% when he left the track. We saw a lot of smoke out of the back end. Here, though, almost put himself out again. A hard landing on the left rear, 25, 10 points short of your leader in this competition, Buddy Tompkins. Now, Jonesboro, Illinois, Logan Tweedy in barefoot. Going for the big air. He had a little something else up his sleeve, though. Everybody now chasing Buddy Tompkins. Not able to walk it out, but a nice, smooth transition into that stop. He only a 17, though. Not sure everybody agreed with that score at the end of this thing. Colton Kaiser, the American Scout, ailing at this point in the competition. He is currently in the back trying to get this truck repaired after this run, and it wasn't particularly anything with the run. Something just seemed to be going away in this truck. 1 week ago, he had done a ton of damage in Freestyle, and you have to wonder if any of that leftover damage has done anything to put a damper on his efforts here today. But so far, he's been able to give it a shot. A strong run, but nothing that he wanted to write home about. A score of 15 for Colton Kaiser. Bad habit, the hometown hero, ready to try to launch over Buddy Tompkins. Again, a 35 for Monster Patrol. What could Joe Sylvester do? That popper into a wheelie has kind of become his calling card. He'd follow it up with this awesome move. Up and over the buses. Perfect transition. And managed to turn it into a mini freestyle as a drone chased him down the track. Only able to score a 31, 4 points short, and that left a little room for this guy, Preston Perez, in Toxic. Had that storm to weather, though. Second year in a row, he has had that truck shut down in the middle of a stoppie. Not something he was happy about, but managed to get the rear end back on the ground. However, he did not let it dampen his spirits. Went after it again. Put the grill right on the ground and did not even take out any of the track banners. Preston Perez showing some control there in Toxic. He got over off of the legendary drop-off, but the win would go to Buddy Tompkins in Monster Patrol.
Man, dude, how do you balance like that? That's crazy.
I took ballerina class when I was like 4 years old, so girls, little boys, whatever they tell you can't do, promise you can do it. I've been in the truck for about 8 years. I broke my back 3 years ago, but guess what? I'm back better than ever. We're here in Ohio. We're about to rock the house. Canfield, let me hear you!
Monster Patrol!
Very happy. Buddy Tompkins' first trophy of the day just went to Buddy Tompkins. That was a few minutes ago, and he will take that momentum and the quick qualifying time into round one. Here are your pairings. USA 1 and Barefoot, a father-son matchup. It'll be Monster Patrol and hopefully American Scout if they can get it repaired. Stomper and Bad Habit. That will be an interesting juxtaposition of trucks. And Toxic was slated to face Rampage, who ended up at the bottom of the ladder, but we know Rampage will not be back. They're already working to get that truck packed up. As we take a look at our young guns now, Lucas Johnson in Total Chaos. These are the minis, and this is a class that's been part of this event since it began in 2021 and saw the likes of one Colton Kaiser come down this track, actually jump over the buses. Here is Claire Johnson in the Crunch Time Mini that Lucas drove about 2 years ago, and she's getting her druthers at the wheel of that machine. Takes a little time to get used to it, but believe me, these things are scale replicas of monster trucks. They've got all the high-tech built into them. The 4-link suspension technology with the, you see coilover shocks on this one, but the nitrogen-charged shocks, the tube frames, and you can see they can take a beating. As we get ready to roll now back to the starting line to live action, we are ready to go now. Round one coming right to the line, that father and son matchup I talked about, USA 1 on the right-hand side of the track, the bright red, white, and blue machine out of Minnesota against the Minnesota-based Barefoot, driven by his son out of Jonesboro, Illinois. That is Logan Tweedy. A lead for Rodney into the trouble spot, but he gets in trouble. A big wheel stand, and he goes off to the right-hand side of the tracks. A nice run for Barefoot as he will roll on into the semifinal round. You can see problems for Rodney Tweedy. We'll watch it again, and you'll see he hit that roller. Same thing that happened to Dalton Van Skyhock in earlier action, but he got kicked to the right. It's already pointed that way. When he comes down, it pitches the nose of the truck into the air, but he has that momentum going off to his right. He had to get out of the throttle and avoid going over the concrete wall on the right side of that track and getting into any of the poles. Now as Preston Perez rolls out for a bye run, I mentioned he was slated to face whoever was at the bottom of the bracket, but Tommy Verlone will not be back in Rampage, and you can see Perez trying to take that conservative approach. Nice run for him, but I don't know if locking it up coming over that K-rail is going to help him any as we get ready for this matchup. And this one I'm interested to see. Dalton Van Skyhock looking for some revenge on Joey Sylvester this year, but Joey leaving him at the gate. Tried to come back on him. Not a bad run for Dalton considering the problems he has had over the last couple of weeks here, but Joe Sylvester was just so fast, second fastest in qualifying, and definitely got a good run out of this left-hand lane. Much better on the left-hand side than he was on the right-hand side. Watch again, though, he tried that same tactic that Preston Perez tried in the previous round. He locks it up on top of the tabletop and kind of plows into that K-rail, but his truck seemed to settle. He may have let out of the brakes just a little bit earlier than did Perez. And you can see Van Skyhock trying to catch him over there, but just getting bounced around a little bit too much with all the obstacles. It's very hard to get a rhythm on a track like this. with so many things so close together. These tracks are punishing every year on these trucks, and this might be by far the toughest as our final, well, it will be a bye run. We thought it would be a final pairing. It's supposed to be Monster Patrol and American Scout, but it looks like American Scout will not answer the bell. Wild ride for Buddy Tompkins, and he hits it hard coming to the finish line. Monster Patrol laying down a shot in the right-hand lane. Not bad. Got himself sort of to the center of the track. Didn't kick him too hard off of that tabletop when he came over the K-rail. Right there, you see him double onto the tabletop, and he got to the left of it. It shot him over onto his left-hand side, but he managed to keep the truck pretty straight, kind of in the middle of the bus jump with another truck next to him. He may not want to do that, but Buddy Tompkins may have figured something out in that lane that no one else has yet, and that is getting off this left-hand side. I'm not sure if he did it intentionally even, but it actually seemed to help him. The truck landing very, very well. Again, Buddy used to this thing. He's driven it before. It didn't look like that, but certainly not afraid of it as he bounces off the buses on this side of the track. So we will take a look now at our pairings going into the semi-final round of Monster Truck Racing, and there you see it. Monster Patrol will do battle with Barefoot and Logan Tweedy, so a battle of teammates there, and then we'll see Toxic Preston Perez taking on Joe Sylvester, and both of them tried that tactic of locking it up. It worked much better for Sylvester. We'll see if Perez can get it figured out in this next round. A look at Bill Nitschke, the BMX Hall of Famer. Bill Nitschke's Wonder Wheels BMX team taking on the tarmac up here in front of the main grandstands. And these guys can do more on flatland than a lot of guys can do with giant dirt ramps. A backflip off of that mini ramp. Very impressive. If you get a chance to see the Outlaw Drags live, the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags, you got to get yourself a ticket. It's always an awesome show as Bad Habit lines up for his matchup with Preston Perez in Toxic, but you see Toxic still sitting in the pits. They are trying, it seems in vain, to get that truck fired, and it's definitely in vain. Joe Sylvester is away with a bye run, and he gets kicked to the right-hand side, straightens out, and he'll cross the finish line. The roof comes off of the big Jeep Gladiator. Won't need that anymore, as that thing will be getting a new body before the end of the year. I can tell you that much right now. Now, our first pairing of the semifinal round, in fact, our only pairing of the semifinal round, will be between teammates Barefoot and Monster Patrol for the right to meet Joe Sylvester in the finals. Watch it again, the Rigid Industries tree dropping to green. He hits the K-rail, and boy, did it kick him hard. He had the right side tires a little bit off the dirt ramp there. Those K-rails aren't quite wide enough for these monster trucks unless you're sitting on them exactly straight. They tend to hit the inner edge of the chevrons on both sides. And man, if you're not straight and true when you hit them, it can get you in a ton of trouble. Now, our only semifinal round matchup, Buddy Tompkins and Logan Tweedy, who will face Sylvester in the final. Tompkins with a wild ride, but Tweedy is all over the outside of his lane. He'll actually come to a stop. Tompkins has not crossed the finish line yet. He slides to a stop. There he goes, corrects and brings it back across. Had to lock it up to avoid going into the wall. Tompkins almost got himself into some big trouble down there. Had he made contact, they would have shut him down, and I believe that would have put Tweedy into the finals. Let's watch again. Monster Patrol, hard launch off the line. Does the same thing Joe Sylvester, actually completely different from what Joe Sylvester did. He got the left side on the K-rail, tried to drive through it, and look at him spin right to the finish line. I believe he stopped right on the line, so he may have been able to take the win regardless of getting sideways there, but that does indeed put him into the final round against Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit. So Tompkins in the lane that he's been running pretty well all day long, and Joe Sylvester in this left-hand lane. First and second qualified, big problems for Tompkins, bigger problems for Joe Sylvester, and he is over in Tompkins' lane. Buddy Tompkins stuck on the buses. Here comes Sylvester, he's backed up. He's going to go across the finish line first. I'm not sure how they're going to handle this. Buddy Tompkins is out of the truck, and he does not look happy. big problems for both of those guys. Watch right here. Both of them get a weird kick. Tompkins gets kicked off hard to his right. Sylvester tried to jump wide open off the K-rail, and he tail slaps that little roller, and it sends him rear end high into the bus jump, and it kicks him off to his right. That sent him on a collision course with Monster Patrol. Let's watch it from Sylvester's lane. You can see they watered the track a little bit before this round while we were showing you those BMX highlights, and boy, did it make it hard to get one shut down if you get sideways in there. I don't know exactly what they're going to do in terms of calling this event. We do know they shut Monster Patrol down. He got over by the wall off the side of those buses. You can see Tompkins not real happy about it as they pull that truck off the track and apparently sustained some damage when it rolled up on the side of those buses. And we are still waiting on word for the official call. You can see Sylvester ripped a bunch of his own banners down with a big hunk of dirt that he sent through those things. And the word we're getting, it will indeed be Bad Habit taking his third straight victory on this track, and he had to earn every bit of it.
Wow, right out there. How'd that feel, that track?
I thought I was going over for sure, man. I mean, we had to put some water down. We were dusting all you guys out, but then it got really slick. Buddy got out of shape. I got out of shape, and hopefully it was at least exciting for you guys. It was definitely a wild ride for us. I'm happy to bring home the hardware. Not happy that we didn't get to cross the finish line side by side, though, and make it a good nail biter, but sometimes that's the way it happens. I got to give my hats off first and foremost to all my competitors out here. They take the chance to come out here and run the Outlaw Drags, and the Outlaw Drags is just that. These are the outlaws of the sport. These are the guys that don't fit the mold. And we come out here and we run tracks that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody's ever seen a step-on, step-off jump except for in Supercross, not in 13,000-pound trucks. And to build the track so that we could also go out and do stuff for best trick, that's the reason for the jersey barriers. As you can see, they did not fare so well. They did not hold up in the dirt. They were throwing trucks all over the place like crazy. But hey, we live and we learn. Hopefully the fans got a great show.
That's right, man. And I tell you what, we still got some freestyle coming up, Bo. I'm excited. You got some tricks up your sleeve for that?
Man, I built this track, so I know every inch of it alongside Boba excavating. But I'll tell you what, we went so fast, the top blew off my Jeep. I think one of my friends and family, local hometown crowd needs to go home with my soft top from the Jeep. What do you guys say?
That's right. You got it? You got it? Who wants the top? Who wants the top? You better get loud. Get loud.
Ricky B. Wilson keeping him pumped up. Joe Sylvester, no one else like him, going up to show the fans some love. Stay with us. Freestyle is coming your way in just a moment.
Outlaw Monster Truck Drags Series Championship. Brought to you by Bernard Daniels Lumber, Complete Pest Solutions, Ziegler Diesel Performance, Picture Perfect Window Cleaning, Gia Angelo's Pizzeria, Armstrong, High Octane Coffee, JS Boba Excavating, Live and Oil Company, Koof Leitner Auto Group, Go Drive Magazine. Bigger, louder, faster.
Ricky B. Wilson keeping them on their feet as we get ready now for Monster Truck Freestyle. These runs will be judged on 3 criteria and crowd reaction, so 4 scores total to give you your overall freestyle total, and we will find out who our overall champion and points champion for this event and the 2023 season will be at the conclusion of these freestyles. Now, Dalton Van Skyok out of Portland, Indiana, in Stomper, Joe Nickers, incredible Stomper, built by Jason Whitty back in the early 2000s, and this thing is a classic. One-of-a-kind piece of equipment, not sounding too good right now. Again, had to bring this truck back from the dead after the crash last week, and still came out and freestyled with it in Indianapolis for the home state folks. But right now, running out here on this Buckeye soil, this silty Buckeye soil that, as I mentioned, they did water it, but that water just comes right off the top, and you can see how dusty it is indeed getting as Dalton Van Skyok works this track to open up our freestyle competition. Something is definitely not right inside of the big yellow Chevrolet. Really hoping for some wheelies, I'm sure, but it did not pan out for him. He will only score an 18. As you see his totals right there, and Logan Tweedy will work his way out of the pits immediately in barefoot. Out of Jonesboro, Illinois, driving for the Triple B team out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. Saw him here last year. He's very impressive, and they finally freshened this truck up pretty well completely as they went through every inch of it. It looks awesome with that jet black, glossy black body with the barefoot graphics on the side as he works to get this crowd ready for his run, stalking his way around the infield of the Canfield Fairgrounds. This legendary track has seen so much great action over the years, and continuing the tradition with the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags of Joey Sylvester here for the last 3 years now, as a series that he got underway during the 6th season back in 2020. But pay-per-view now running full out in front of the crowd, really where this series belongs, is in front of the people, and doing a nice job. Experimenting with these different style courses, almost like a video game come to life, but we'll see what Logan is able to lay down for his fans here in Canfield. There's definitely some barefoot fans in the crowd here as they saw wild rides by any truck carrying this namesake over the years. Nice shot off the center of the buses right there. Big sky wheelie up and over the buses to transition down. And he's got that Triple B flagpole just bent into a U right now. Again, kicks up tons and tons of silt every time he goes out into that grass. Thank God for the drones. Looks to be a takeover run, if anything. I'm not sure if it's going to be the championship gaining run that he might hope for, but there is nothing wrong with the freestyle that he is laying down right now. A little bit of everything. Plenty of momentum. Some nice hang time, big sky wheelies, and ends it up with the stoppie. Logan Tweedy out of Jonesboro, Illinois, winning over the crowd right now. That right there was by far my favorite shot of the run, and you can see he scores a 30, definitely launching himself into the lead as his father now rolls out in USA 1. Coming up on the end of their season here, you get a lot less to lose. So you run the trucks a little bit harder, but the attrition rate definitely starting to set in as he struggled a little bit today with some parts maybe he wouldn't have normally. That was a nice shot. Kind of wheeling down the face of the race side of the buses. looking for something else to pick on, and it gets tough as the paint gets rubbed off and the chalk gets rubbed off the front of these ramps. It gets tougher and tougher to see exactly where those little knolls and stuff are. You get yourself in trouble real quick if you're not cognizant of what is in between those race lanes. Really, you can get in trouble hitting the race lanes, but he has apparently got a problem, and it looks like he's going to end the run right there. 2 6s, 2 7s, and camera folks searching for him in the dust there with a 26 that will leave Logan Tweedy and Barefoot in the lead. Here comes now Toxic, Frederick, Maryland, Preston Perez by way of Spokane, Washington, the Bullsnot sponsored Toxic. Big PEI chassis that made its debut back in 2011 and has been a fixture on the monster truck circuit ever since, with Travis Petri, later Corey Snyder, under the ownership of Chris Gilbert, now owned by the Snyder family and Warped Motorsports. And when they acquired a second truck and the old Illuminator namesake back a year ago, they put Perez behind the wheel full time of this machine, and he's definitely showing why he's got the potential to be a champion on this and any other series he is a part of. Nice shot from the big black and green Ford out of Maryland. His momentum so far has been awesome. This is a tough track to freestyle on because it is narrow. It's not wide open. You can't just flat-foot it across there. As I said, you have to be cognizant of the center points on that track. Make sure you don't hit anything in the middle and get yourself out of whack. You can block one of these trucks up real quick. Perez, though, about to whip up a Dust Devil. The bull was running in the dust. Preston Perez in there somewhere. In Toxic, shooting for a 30. Laid down by Barefoot a couple of minutes ago. Here's another look at just an awesome shot for Preston Perez, just touching the buses and coming down the other side, and then made a nice shot going the other way. Had some great center shots, and it is 3 8s and a 9. Perez, by 3 points, will take over the lead with only 2 to go. Monster Patrol and Bad Habit. Let's see what the best trick winner has for the field. The black and green Chevy chasing the black and green Ford. Couple of hard hits there. And he's going to roll right off the track. Something wrong, it looked like, with the front shocks. 3 2s and a 3. For Monster Patrol, it'll only be a 9 for the black and green wing-clad machine out of Minnesota. Now, the hometown hero looking for one last victory in 2023 and one very important victory in his storied career. Joe Sylvester from right here in Canfield. Bad Habit. The Kuff-Leitner Auto Group sponsored Jeep Gladiator, ready to let her fly. the center kicker. Looked like the rear steering may not have wanted to come back for him. As those hater cuts tear into the soft, silky sand out here. This is a pulling track during most of the year, and the amount of water it takes to turn this back into clay is just insane. And you can see they used about all of it up building the race course, and any water that was in there, he's pretty well dug down past it with those big cleats. The momentum so far has been incredible. Look at him blow the dirt sky high with the zoomies. An excellent showing. That big Steve Vance horsepower going to work as engine builder. One of the greats in the mud racing and dirt drag industry out of the state of West Virginia, right down the road from Ohio. Knows he can build him some big horsepower. This truck ran so hard through this 2023 season. Definitely put it to the test. And some of the biggest shows, as far as independent shows go, of Joey's career have been this year. So this truck definitely has proved its worth. Out here, the Eddie Micah-based chassis that Joey put together. Super heavyweight machine, but it can definitely take to the sky with the best of them. Wanted to stop me there clearly, but it's actually too dry on the other side of that ramp. Even those cleats couldn't get a hold of anything. And now we play the waiting game as Joey searches for a way out. Man, he's way out in the outfield right now. See what he's got left. He's done just about everything. Now I'm sitting up here trying to give you all the technical information. I said you couldn't just flat-foot it through the middle of this course. I stand corrected. Joe Sylvester in bad habit, wrapping up what has to be a takeover run. I don't know any way that run did not take over. One racing. What did he do in freestyle? He's definitely got the fans' approval. The home state, hometown fans. Literally lives about 5 minutes down the road. He can do whatever he wants with this thing. He can just drag it down the street in a big hunk. Doesn't have to do that though. That truck is going to drive back into the pits here tonight. What a run for Joe Sylvester. Just a couple quick highlights while he brings it back over in front of the crowd. You can hear Ricky B. Wilson in the background going off. Track announcer here this weekend. One of Joey's good friends. Keeping the fans on their feet, and a big round of applause. You see it right there. There's your score. All 10s, the perfect 40 for Joe Sylvester.
Just killing it out here. He's still getting unstrapped. Hang on, there's a lot of safety equipment. Make some noise for your freestyle winner! Hey, man. What a ride, Mr. Barefoot 2 up here. We appreciate it, Mo. What a ride, Joey, man. Flying all over the track, dude, just tearing it up with ferocity. I mean, what was in your mind doing that freestyle right there?
I'll tell you exactly what's in my mind in Canfield. I want you guys to listen right now. I've had a career of 18 years in professional racing. I've been wheeling monster trucks from here to Saudi Arabia, to California, to Canada, to Mexico. I love nothing more than entertaining my friends and family in my hometown. You all just witnessed the last time I will ever drive a monster truck. This was my retirement show. You are the first to find out about it. I'm moving on in my life. I will still be promoting the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags. We will be coming back here in my hometown, and we're going to continue to push the limits with guys like Logan and Toxic. We are going to be here. We're going to be traveling the country, and we're still going to be entertaining. And what you guys just saw was my last freestyle and bad habit. I've had a very, very grateful career. I'm so grateful for the fans that I've made, the friends that I've made along the way, the sponsors, everybody that stood behind me from racing sprint cars to off-road trucks to monster trucks, showing up out here and showing your support on social media. I love every one of you guys. I can't think of a better way to end my career in monster trucks than right here in my hometown. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, JS Boba. Thank you, Too Fun. Thank you, Complete Best Solution. Thank you for our fans. Everybody that came out and did this show happen. So I can go out there and put this truck to the abuse one last time.
What else can you say? What a way to wrap up an incredible weekend, part of an amazing season. A wild, storied event at a historical venue to wrap up one legendary career. A lot of emotion, and I'll tell you what, you don't see tears in those eyes too often. To have some of his best friends in the business out here keeping this event series alive, and got to go out a winner, and he had to earn every bit of it this weekend. A very happy, sort of a bittersweet sort of ride here. It's always tough to end a career, but I'll tell you what, again, a big thanks to everyone who's been part of the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags at this and every event that occurred this year and in years past. And Joe Sylvester will go out the points champion of the 2023 Outlaw Monster Truck Drag season. It was only 3 stops, but it was 3 grueling stops. What an incredible year of action it's been. We cannot wait to see what 2024 brings for all of us who have been privileged to be part of the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags, past, present, and future. Thank you for joining us. We will see you in 2024.